Well, for the last 15 years, I've been working in the Gampa district and in my electorate. So I believe that I have done justice by working there, doing my service there in that area. And because of that, I see no reason for me to change my district and move on to a different area. The United National Party has a set of principles that I believe in. These days you find politicians who switch sides very easily for their own personal reasons, to get personal benefits. But I believe in the party and I believe in the principles of the United National Party, so I will stay with the United National Party. It's a challenge. The United National Party is facing a challenge, but I believe that we have a voter base that is very devoted to the United National Party. And if the voter base comes with us in this election, I believe we can have a reasonable victory in this general election. Well, I don't think you can just blame one person for the losses. It's very easy. When we win as a party. When we lose, we blame the leader. But I don't think that's fair. I think we all have to share the blame when we lose, not only the leadership. He's been there. He's been giving our party the leadership for the last 20-odd years. So, yes, I don't think we can just blame him for everything, for all the losses of the party. No, there is democracy in the party, but if you can't have 100% democracy in any political party. If there is 100% democracy in any political party, there'll be chaos inside the party. But if you compare the United National Party to any other party, there is quite a considerable amount of democratic rule which happens inside the UNP. As opposed to any other party. If you take the Pohotua, it's a family-run party. If you look at the Samagi Balawege, it's based on Sajid Premadasa, but the United National Party is a party that believes in democratic norms, and within our party there is sufficient democratic rule. I believe Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe will give the party leadership to a person that he believes will take the party forward. The person who can win the hearts and minds of our voter base and genuinely work for the country as well as for the party. So I believe when he identifies that person, that he will give the leadership to that person. As for me, I think I can't say that I am going to be the leader of this party. That will, I think, our party supporters and my fellow ministers and members of parliament will decide on who the appropriate leader will be in the future. I don't know if my name is linked to the Easter Sunday attack. That question is a bit, it kind of shows that I was part of the conspiracy, which I am not. Unfortunately, it is, the loss, the human lives that were lost at the attack is absolutely regrettable. I had to work as the State Minister of Defense during that time. But what I have to mention to the people is that my powers as State Minister of Defense was very limited. I had, my functions was gathered by the President, who was the Defense Minister at the time, as to look after the Staff and Command, Batalanta Staff and Command College, then the Defense Schools, and of course the Cadet Corps, and the Ranaviru Seva Authority. So those were my functions as a minister, and I did my duty well, I believe. But unfortunately, there was After the 52-day issue, which occurred, where President Maithripala Sirisena brought in Mahinda Rajapaksa as a prime minister, and after we fought it on the courts, and then there was a constitutional crisis at the moment. But we overcame that, and we established a UNP government at the time. At that time, the president and the UNP government didn't see eye to eye. As a result, the Prime Minister and I were not invited to the Security Council meetings, or were not given any information by the intelligence services, or by police, or by the three forces commanders. We were pretty much blocked out. So because of that, the information flow of the attack did not reach many levels of the government. So that was an unfortunate incident which resulted in this devastating attack. Well, just before he left, he had a meeting with the Security Council, with the cabinet ministers and the opposition leaders. And at that time, I made an observation before he left. I said there could be clashes between the Sinhala and Muslim communities in certain areas. So we need to identify those areas, and we need to mobilize the troops as well as the STF into those areas to prevent any clashes between the two communities. But unfortunately, at the time, the president just smirked, and he ended the meeting. But the next day, we got to know that certain areas in Kurunagala and in Puttalam, the clashes had erupted. At that point, we quickly established an office in the CDS, which is Admiral Ruwan Wijewardene's office, to look at, the operational office was established there. And from there, we got the three forces commanders as well as the IGP and the STF head. From there, we conducted the operations to stop these clashes in these areas. And within that day, by the end of that day, we managed to stop all the clashes happening in and avoided a mass-scale bloodshed, which would have, if we didn't stop it at that time, would have spread to other parts of the country. Well, since this is general elections, we do not put our own manifestos out. It's the party that puts the manifesto out. So we launched our manifesto as to how we are going to, which mainly concentrated on how we are going to face this economic issues that the country is facing because of the coronavirus issue, the pandemic. But I think, for the past 15 years, me personally, I have worked in my electorate in my district. I have, done various projects in those areas, and I believe the people believe in me and would, I think, vote me into Parliament again. Well, 5 key areas. Well, the main area I would like to concentrate is on education, because in my district, Kampar district, education is a #1 priority amongst parents and students and children, obviously. So because of that, I feel that the education in the Kampar district can, we can do way more in that area, especially in the teaching of the new technologies. I think younger people have a tendency to look at technology now. I think we can benefit greatly if we enhance that kind of education into our curriculum now, which was something that we were planning to do during our government, and unfortunately the former president did not let us do what we were planning to do at that time. Otherwise, we could have, I think, taken this country to another level. Well, one thing that I'm really proud of is that we as a government managed to speak with the United Nations as well as other defense ministers in some of the key countries and managed to secure amount of our forces to be allowed to join the peacekeeping missions. That was, I think, a key issue that we worked on. Because of that, we managed to send some of our troops to Mali for peacekeeping missions. From that, I think they get great benefits out of that, because they get paid by dollars, the country benefits as well as the soldiers benefit out of it. So that was one thing that the Prime Minister is the one who actually initiated that, and under his leadership I managed to speak to most of the defense ministers around the world and secured a position for us to send our troops for peacekeeping missions. That was one. But there were so many things that I managed to do. There were, for the veterans had huge issues when it came. There was anomalies about their pensions, their benefits, their disability benefits, and those I managed to speak with the then Finance Minister Mangala Samarira and managed to untangle a lot of issues that the veterans were facing at the time. So I'm quite proud of that. As well as on the Cadet Corps, the junior Cadet Corps was pretty much not functioning. When I took over, we managed to, revive the junior Cadet Corps, and I'm quite proud of it because now there is a lot of interest amongst parents as well as children to join the junior Cadet Corps. Well, under the last government, we did the Kamparelya project, where each electorate got 350 million to do all the development work in our area. So through that, I managed to do quite a lot of development work in my Biyakam electorate. And there was, of course, the education minister at the time, Akila Viraj, had a project called Langam Pasala Hondam Pasala project, which basically gave a lot of money to build buildings and all which the area schools needed. And through that I managed to, I think one national school, we spent about 40 million, I think, to build a brand new building for that school. And then of course there was another school which is under the provincial council, but we managed to secure some money for that and give them build 2 new buildings for that school as well. So I'm quite proud of that. So there were a lot of things that we did, plus the Samruddhi families, families who needed, the Samruddhis, about 1,200 families, we managed to secure the Samruddhis for them. And so there was a lot that I did during that last 4.5 years. Well, I think I have done, for the past 15 years as a politician, I think I've done my service to the area, to the people of my area, and I think I have, gained their confidence in me. And so I believe that in this election that not only the UN peers, but also the people of that area will look at me favorably and elect me back into Parliament.